Liftoff.
Hey there, Weekend Confirmers. Welcome to Weekend Confirmed Summer Nights. We're here in beautiful Marina del Rey, California, home of Garnett Lee, for a remote Weekend Confirmed, but that's not going to stop us from answering your Twitter questions. Today's Twitter question to me comes in from @Mimshright, who asks, what makes a good board game to iOS conversion? Board game to iOS conversions are all the rage right now. It seems like every board game that ever was has either already become an iOS game, is in the process of becoming an iOS game, or is on Kickstarter to possibly be an iOS game. Which I think is great. I don't think you can ever quite match the tabletop experience, sitting around with your friends playing a great board game. But I love the fact that you can have these board games, these great concepts, these wonderful strategy rule sets on the iOS. You can play them when you don't have friends around, or you can learn the games on the iOS device for playing later with your friends. And I think really that's the answer to this question for me. I like the iOS conversions where it really keeps the board game, the tabletop game feel. There's a lot of them that keep the rule set but convert it, do a real graphical overhaul and really make it into a video game. And for my money, I prefer stuff like Summoner Wars, even Puerto Rico is a great example of a board game on iOS that really feels like you're still playing a board game. You still have the counters, you still have card shapes, you have... Basically, it's giving you that tabletop experience digitally rather than converting the game into a video game template. Another great thing that makes up an excellent iOS conversion for a board game is an awesome tutorial mode or a great how-to, a great instruction set. Because the best part of being able to play these games by yourself on your iPad or iPhone is learning them, is having the time to not feel pressure around your friends of like, I don't get the rules, oh, he's doing really well because he's playing better because he knows how to play. You can really learn the games, and if the games have great tutorial mode, really brings you into the rules gradually and explains them clearly. I think that, unfortunately, too few of them have that. For example, Nightfall, one of my favorite deck building games on tabletop. It's a complicated game, and the iOS version is fantastic, except I don't feel like the tutorial is very robust. It steps you through the process of playing, but it doesn't teach you why you're doing what you're doing. I think that's very important in conveying. When you're sitting there playing a board game with somebody and they're explaining to you the rules, you can ask questions, you can find out why I would want to be doing that. And I think that it's really important to keep that in mind when developing a tutorial mode for these games, to be able to have that kind of experience of understanding the underpinnings, not just the moment-to-moment, this is what you do, then you do that, then you do that. If you don't understand why you're doing it, it doesn't make any sense. I also think keeping a consistent art style is key to having these games on iOS. I love the fact that we're getting all these games being converted. There's so many, and there's more every day, and I think it's really, the mechanics of board games really shine, especially when you can play them on the iOS. And I think the last prong of what makes a great version is strong AI, so that you don't have to just play with other opponents, real human being opponents, although that's great to have too. I love the fact that Ticket to Ride, for example, added that in, the pass and play mode and all that stuff, added that in later. But having AI so you can play just by yourself and not have to worry about doing a multiplayer match. Anyway, long-winded answer. That's something I'm really passionate about. I hope you can find a great board game on iOS to get excited about too. Thanks for the question. We'll see you later for more Summer Nights.
Good night. favor, except you can see even now that there are good digital download games that have been
Highly
out this
recommend
summer.
that one.
And you probably
Second
wouldn't
question
find
comes
as much
from
connection with
R.S.
audience. So I
R.S.
think that
Schuster,
we could even
who
see
asks,
more
what's my
in the
favorite
next year or two
Resident
be putting
Evil?
out games over the summer, at least during that dead spot. I mean, it's sometime in June.
I know a lot of people are going to say
that it starts
4.
up and really gets
4 is
bad,
excellent.
and
And
then
can't
by
argue
and
with
large
that.
is just
2,
open world.
like that.